So I had a really good question, which was, can I make a blueprint for coaches or clients who have, minimal equipment? Maybe they only have like a dumbbell laying around, or they really have a lot of stuff. And, sometimes clients just don't want to go to the gym, or they're afraid to, and they just want to stay in their home. Or maybe you're a coach who's trying to kind of jump out on your own and you really don't have a lot of access to a lot of equipment yet. So what do you do in that kind of situation? And when it comes down to it, the blueprints are going to stay exactly the same. You just have to, unfortunately, be a little bit more creative with your processes of filling in those blueprints. Now, before I dive into that, there's really two things I strongly encourage. Well, there's one thing you definitely have to do, where the client definitely has to do. And the other thing is a strongly encourage. So what I mean is, you can get a really cheap set of bands on Amazon. I'll show you what I mean here. So something, oops, where'd that picture go? Here we go. Something like this is 20 bucks. It has a whole bunch of different bands to it, and it provides so much flexibility when it comes to your programming when you have minimal equipment. Like during COVID, this is all I had access to, and like a kettlebell, and I was still able to maintain my health pretty good because, again, this provides so much flexibility when it comes to programming. Like you open up a lot of back exercises, which are really hard to do if you don't have any equipment. A lot of core exercises open up. It's just all sorts of different exercises open up. So this is, I say, 100% a requirement. Like if I've had clients who have minimal equipment who want to work out at home, and I'm like, if you want to work with me, you must buy this. And it's like, it's 20 bucks. So it's like, it's not really that much of an investment. And again, it's just going to make programming that much simpler, and it's going to make your life and the client's life that much easier. And it's going to help you make better help them make better progress. The other thing I would suggest is getting a cheap suspension trainer. And honestly, I think these knockoffs are far superior than the TRX because they have two individual arms, which just, again, I just think it's better than the TRX, which only has that one connected arm, again, it doesn't really matter that much, honestly, but it does open up a little bit more flexibility when it comes to the programming. Also, they're much cheaper. You can see these are like 50 bucks as opposed to a TRX, which is over $100. At least here we go, 140 for the Go system, right? So those are the two things I would suggest looking into. The other option, if 50 bucks is out of your price range or the client's price range, is just get an old sheet or an old beach towel or two sheets and two beach towels, and you can tie a knot, and then you can just throw them over a door, and that creates that anchor so you can do TRX suspension trainer exercises, without actually using a trainer. So again, this is good for someone at home. Might not look the most professional for you as a coach, but if you're getting the job done, you're getting the job done at the end of the day. But again, the blueprints are going to stay the blueprints. The where it comes in is you're going to have to be, again, just a little bit more creative, which is putting together different ideas. And I'll go over a couple different options to kind of keep it more interesting for your clients. But again, like knee dominant, push is push, core is core, and so on and so forth. Now, probably you're not going to be able to do things like a focused lift for your clients if they're a little bit more advanced. Like you can't do heavy barbell back squats if you don't have a barbell, right? But you can still use that same idea to have those focused lifts. So for instance, instead of heavy barbell back squats, you can give your clients skater squats, which is a truly unsupported one leg, deadlift slash squat hybrid. Or maybe even trying to program people up to the point where they're doing skater squats. Or sissy squats are awful, but awfully great exercise too. So there's really a lot of different options when it comes to creating those focus lifts. Same thing with like pressing or rowing. If you've got those bands, you can create a lot of tension with those bands. So you still have a focus ability using those bands for your back or your chest. And likewise, push-ups, always a fantastic exercise when it comes to pushing. So there really is a lot of different options when it comes to programming when you have minimal equipment. It's just, you still have, or you don't have to, but you can still stay within this framework. Now, the other options that I had mentioned in a 30-minute workout are things like complexes, which are a fantastic way to work out because it gets your heart rate up. They're pretty fun. They're pretty intense. And, especially for clients who know how to exercise, it really just adds another level of complexity and intensity to get them past where they are currently, because maybe they've only got like a 20-pound dumbbell and they're pretty strong. The 20-pound dumbbell is not really going to do much for them if you're just doing like bench press with them. But if you're doing a complex, they're going to get stronger and they're going to get in better shape. And it's, again, there's a little bit of that fun element because you can push yourself pretty hard in those or scale it as needed. Another idea that you can use that I actually failed to bring up in the 30-minute video are just the idea of density circuits. Let me just zoom in so you guys can see I put density slash AMRAP sets. So essentially the same exact thing. It's just using different words to describe the same thing. So what you can do is just set 10 minutes on the clock, and let's just say you have someone do push-ups and skater squats, or let's just say like they're doing lunges. And they have 10 minutes to accumulate as much volume as they possibly can doing push-ups and lunges. So as soon as they're done the push-ups, they're going right to skaters or lunges, and then once they're done with lunges, they're going right back to push-ups. So essentially, it's just a circuit training. It is just circuit training, but it provides a bit of challenge to that person so they can try and push a little bit harder. So it's like maybe they got like, I'm just saying a random number, maybe they got 60 total reps of push-ups and lunges last time, and you're back again next week, and you're like, all right, we got 60 reps last time, let's shoot for like 65. Maybe we push it to 70, that type of thing. So it gives you a little bit of challenge, gives the client a little bit of challenge, something to strive for. So you can do like one exercise, you do something like that. You can do two. I mean, I would probably do up to maybe 4 exercises, maybe 5. Or I mean, honestly, you could do a density set with like, 10 different exercises. That's just a whole workout, and you have them do it for like 20 minutes or 30 minutes. So that's just another way of doing it. Again, this is just circuit training, but it's giving a slightly different context to give people just a slightly different focus so you can keep things a little bit more interesting. Because again, we only have a certain amount of equipment, so we're trying to just change things that way as well.